Hello everyone, welcome to this video. How to make an electric vehicle lithium battery at very low cost. It's the battery you're seeing now. Voltage is 48 volts and capacity 15 Ah. The total cost is around $60. The method of making is also very simple. No need for special equipment such as spot welders. Give you a brief introduction to this set of batteries. Batteries used in this set of batteries are disassembled. The capacity of 32,650 lithium iron phosphate single cell is 5 Ah. The price is about $1 or so. 0.3 parallel 16 strings are used here. 0.48 cells required. The cost of these cells alone is about $45. At present, the mainstream of batteries used here lithium batteries is ternary lithium battery, and this lithium iron phosphate. If you are assembling for the first time, I recommend still using this lithium iron phosphate. Relatively speaking, it is more secure. Assembling lithium batteries also has certain risks. If you want to do it yourself, then you must pay attention to lithium iron phosphate. Its biggest advantage is high security. The disadvantage is that the energy density is lower than that of the ternary lithium battery. That is to say, his volume of the same capacity, and the weight will be larger than the ternary lithium battery. Another disadvantage is the low resistance. The temperature is also worse than the ternary lithium battery. However, the cycle life of a single lithium iron phosphate is about 2,000 times. The ternary lithium battery is about hundreds of thousands of times. However, lithium iron phosphate, its consistency is worse than that of ternary lithium batteries. If assembled into a battery pack, that may reduce cycle life as well, especially when the batteries are connected in parallel. 1 to bad will result in the parallel connection of batteries to each other. Repeated charge and discharge. It will reduce its cycle life. And before making lithium battery, it is best to let the seller give material. We allocate resistance in advance. Basically, it is impossible for you to consider the distribution of capacitance and resistance. When we assemble lithium batteries, it is necessary to ensure the voltage of each cell as much as possible. The capacity and internal resistance should be the same. Whether the whole set of batteries is good or not mainly depends on the battery core. How is their consistency? Next, is going to introduce this battery for you. This battery is total positive. That is B positive. 3 batteries connected together. The 5 Ah is connected in parallel, it is 15 Ah. This battery is connected in parallel to increase the capacity, and the series is to increase the capacity. This is the direction in which the cells are connected in series. A total of 16 cells are connected in series. When concatenated, the positive terminal of a cell, the negative terminal of the other cell is fine. The upper end on the far left is the total positive of the battery. The upper right side is the total negative of the battery. Lithium iron phosphate has a nominal voltage of 3.2 volts. Saturation voltage is 3.65 volts. 16 strings of lithium iron phosphate. When fully charged, the static voltage is around 53 volts. It is recommended to use this rack if a novice assembles. Stand is dedicated. If it is 32,650, you should buy a special bracket for 32,650. If it is 18,650, buy it 18,650. First, it is easy to assemble by using the bracket. Second, there is a gap between the brackets, so it is convenient for the battery to dissipate heat. Insulation and battery pack efficiency will be stronger than no bracket. The battery pack connection is also very convenient. There are screws on both ends of the battery. Just screw it in with a nut or screw. The connecting piece uses the special nickel tape for 32,650. There is also a copper connection tape. Choose according to your needs. When assembling, you need to leave a little more on the edge of this connector. It is convenient for us to weld the collection row later. Wire and connector fixing screws and nuts. It is best to use spring pads for shock absorption, because when the electric car is riding, may go through potholes. These screws and nuts are easy to loosen over time. Can cause battery problems. And between the battery and the connector, it's better to stick another layer of green shell paper. Increase the insulation between the connection piece and the battery. The main thing is to stick the positive pole of the battery. This battery has male and female screw heads at both ends. Words in series, middle part. You can just screw it on. When connecting, it is best to place it in the middle. Spring pads are used to reduce this kind of battery with screw head. It is very convenient to assemble, no spot welder, and between these two batteries, also need to install the connecting piece. Expose this connector. It is convenient for us to connect when we install the protection board later. Collection cable. The above is how the battery is connected. It's easy to assemble, but after the battery is connected, we still can't use it normally, need to install a protective plate for him. It's the thing in my hand, this protective plate. Its role is to protect the battery and avoid overcharging and overdischarging the battery. Damaged batteries or accident. The protection board in my hand is 16 strings of lithium iron phosphate dedicated. If you are a ternary lithium battery, you have to buy a special ternary lithium battery protection board. Buy as many strings as you have batteries. Then the current limit of this protection board is 45 amps. When this current is selected, then the current of your EV controller just a little higher. For example, your controller is limited to 20 amps. You can buy 30-40. This protection board is the same protection board. The black line is the charging and discharging interface on one line. The blue line is B negative to the total negative of the battery. That is to take this position. Black line is C negative of the output. Connecting the output battery B positive top lead wire line form the output B of the entire positive and negative wires. Charging is also these two lines. This protection board is controlled by a MOS tube as the negative terminal of the battery. When the battery is overcharged, then the MOS tube inside will be cut off. Make the whole group of batteries have no voltage output also cannot be charged. This row of lines is the collection line to the protection board acquisition cable. He's not running electricity, mainly to detect the voltage of each battery with active equalization. There is current on it. The first black wire is connected to battery B negative. That is to take this position, then start with the negative electrode of this battery of the wires to the back. For example, after the first black wire is connected. Let's take the second yellow wire, follow a sequence, connect another wire for every other string of batteries. Wiring isn't that complicated. If you don't understand, you can ask, he has a wiring diagram over there. When we connect this acquisition cable, be sure to unplug him first. Avoid connecting this collection cable by mistake. Burnt the protective plate. Now wire all the acquisitions connected to the battery. Connect the acquisition cable and solder it with a soldering iron. When welding the collection cable, epoxy board can be attached to the side of the battery. Then attach this acquisition cable to the epoxy board. Cut the acquisition cable according to the length and weld it on. It will be more neat and beautiful. Security will be higher. Otherwise, it will be ugly if it is messed up like this. Blue B wire on top of protective plate. Also connected to the total negative of this battery pack. With the acquisition cable you can connect it to the protection board. At this time, the battery pack has a voltage output. The black wire on the protective plate is for the battery. Output negative. After connecting, we measure this black wire and battery B positive. Normally it should be around 50 volts. The measured voltage is 51.2 volts. That means we have no problem with the battery connection. Finally, connect it with thick silicone wire on B positive. When the positive pole of the battery output, then wrap the battery with epoxy board, then wrap it with heat shrink film and it's done. By calculations the total cost is a maximum of $60. Assembly is also very simple. Finally, add the right charger like the battery in the video. The voltage of the charger should be 58.4 volts. The current can be 3 amps or 4 amps.